There's a moment right before a big decision where your mind begins to spiral. Not outward, but inward. You start calculating, weighing outcomes, building perfect structures of logic, but you don't move. Tonight we're talking about that moment, the moment where logic betrays you. Tonight we sit with Andrealphus. Join me now in and through the Static Seance.
The whisper caught between stations, neither here nor gone. The hum of voices trapped in the wires, their confessions dissolving into static. A seance not in candlelit rooms, but on flickering screens, where the ghosts don't knock, but distort the signal. Shadows coil in the white noise. If only one dares to alter their own frequency and listen.
Andrealphus appears in the Ars Goetia as a marquis, a noble rank, but his domain is not war, not seduction, and not chaos. It's mathematics, geometry, astronomy, measurement. He teaches the transformation of birds into men, men into birds. Symbolically, this is profound, because what is a bird other than a creature of structure, of thought, of grounded logic? Andrealphus lives at that threshold, between calculation and instinct, between the mind and the leap. So the question would be, where does logic betray you? Not where logic saves you, not where reasoning can even help you, but where it traps you, where it becomes a cage disguised as clarity. So in the past, where did overthinking stall you? What did you overthink until it died? A relationship you overanalyzed instead of feeling? An opportunity you mapped out until it passed you by? A decision you delayed because it wasn't perfect yet? Overthinking is not intelligence. It is fear wearing the mask of intelligence. It tells you just one more variable, just one more scenario, just one more layer of certainty. But certainty never comes. So Andrealphus teaches precision, but precision without action is paralysis. So in the present, what reasoning limits you? What are you trying to solve that cannot be solved through logic alone? Because logic has boundaries. It works within known variables. It depends on stability, even though life is unstable. Reality is chaotic, emotional, unpredictable, and yet we try to force it into all these equations. We try to make life make sense. But some things are not meant to make sense. They are meant to be experienced. So in the future, what intuition guides you? Because intuition is what guides you forward. That quiet, uncomfortable voice that doesn't always come with proof. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't justify itself. It just says go. And that is terrifying because intuition requires trust. Not in the world, but in yourself. And this is something I struggle with constantly. There have been many times in my life where I thought I could think my way out of a situation. That if I just analyze it enough or, really go over the plan and make it perfect, I could avoid the risk, avoid failure, avoid uncertainty. But the truth is, some situations demand a leap. And if you don't leap, you stay exactly where you are. Or worse, you get lost. Lost in endless refinement, lost in impossible standards, trying to create a reality that will never exist. Because logic demands perfection, and reality is terrifyingly simple. And that simplicity can be really, really difficult to accept. For me, this ties deeply into OCD spectrum rumination, that loop, that endless spiral where you revisit the same thought again and again and again, trying to resolve it, trying to finish it, but it never finishes. Because in that moment, your mind is trying to solve something that doesn't need to be solved. And what that does over time is it creates this feeling that you are behind, years behind, decades behind. Like everyone else moved forward while you stayed stuck in paralysis. And that feeling can be crushing. But here's the truth that breaks that illusion. You are not behind. You are on a different path. And that path is not meant to look like anyone else's. There is no universal timeline, no cosmic checklist, no standardized progression to life. That's just another illusion of logic, trying to systematize existence, when existence is not a system. It's a strange, non-linear process. So while Andrealphus can be a master of rigid logic, he is also a teacher of transformation. So he does not destroy logic, he refines it. He shows you where it breaks, where it can become excessive, where it blinds you, because excess logic is very unclear, because it's distortion. So you privileged intellect over wisdom. You trusted thought more than experience. But now you can see logic as a tool, not a ruler. It serves you. You do not serve it. Now intuition integrates reason, not replacing it, not rejecting it, but balancing it. And you can begin to think holistically, not in fragments, not in isolated variables, but as a whole. Don't forget, excess logic blinds insight. So how do you actually apply this, right? Next time you're stuck, ask yourself, am I solving this or avoiding it? Am I refining or delaying? Is there actually more information to gain, or am I looping? And then just listen. Not to the loudest thought, but to the quietest one. The one that doesn't argue or justify. Simply says, this is the move. And then make it. There are many worse fates than being on a unique journey. And Andrealphus does not ask you to abandon logic. He asks you to stop worshiping it. Because clarity does not come from perfect thought. It comes from balanced perception, from knowing when to think and when to leap. So where does logic betray you? And more importantly, what would happen if you let it go just enough to move forward?
Where has the time going? Where does the time gone? Where is the time go? There it went wild when what was? They held beliefs over your head, solid found a seed of a garden bred, filed straight under my dead dad. I got it real, and it got real bad. Where has the time going?